What about Ben Johnson and the Chicago Bears? There's been videos now coming out of that particular building with Ben Johnson now leading the charge. One of my favorites, and I haven't heard him from today's press conference because it's been live, is whenever he walked in and addressed the entire building, as this has become like the new thing. Whenever a coach or GM is brought in, the entire company, who's been working there for years and years and years, in every department, come out and give a round of applause. Well, Coach Ben Johnson addressed the Chicago Bears building for the first time yesterday. Welcome, welcome. We love you.
Everyone get back to work. Listen, thank you so much. My family and I, we are beyond excited. This is exactly where we wanted to be. This is exactly where we wanted to be.
Where we want you.
This is going to be a challenge. I am well aware of that.
This is going to be a challenge.
I know what this division's about. And this is exactly where we want to be. We're going to go after this thing, and it's going to take all of us in this room. It's going to take this locker room. It's nothing more important than that locker room and us serving that locker room and those players. All right? They need to understand that. They need to feel that from us every single day. And if we do that, the wins are going to come.
Okay.
The playoffs are going to come.
Okay.
All right? Can't wait to get to know you guys. And thank you so much for the warm welcome. Thank you.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, man.
It's going to be a massive challenge, all right? You guys know you've been here. This place kind of stinks, all right? Thank you for the warm welcome. You've had to do a lot of these over the last 10 years, and I want to let you know it's all about that locker room right there, okay? And when the wins come and the playoffs come, sales, a lot easier. Ticketing, a lot easier. Sponsorship, a lot easier. Parking, a lot easier. Social media, a lot easier. Hey, everybody's life gets a lot easier if we take care of that locker room right there, okay? So that's all I'm saying. And this is where we wanted to be. That's where we wanted you to be. Okay, it feels like it was a perfect start between the building and Ben Johnson's era. He had a press conference today, and, Lions fans were killing Ben Johnson for going to the Bears and seemingly potentially putting together a staff before the games were over for the Lions. And Lions fans got creative like Boston Connor did the other day, where he's like, Ben Johnson's holding back plays so he can run more Caleb and not Jared. That's why they lose in the playoffs to the Commanders. We don't think that's true. But he said he loved beating LaFleur twice a year. He said today. He said, I didn't mind beating LaFleur twice a year. That was a good time. Trying to win Lions fans back while also taking a shot at the rival Green Bay Packers for the Chicago Bears tie.
Yeah, see, I appreciate that because he comes in and he understands that rivalry does mean something. But let's get two things straight here, okay? The Lions got their physicality and their toughness and their overall demeanor and attitude from Dan Campbell.
Thank you.
They didn't get it from fucking Ben Johnson.
Thank
so
you,
he can say that, and I appreciate that. But you know what Ryan Poles said when he first got introduced as the Bears' new GM? He said, we're going to take the North and we're never going to get it back. And they've been hammered dog shit since he got there. So you can say all that kind of stuff. That's great. Hell, they beat the Packers to close out the season. Now, granted, the Packers, in the second half played all their scrubs and all the guys who probably aren't going to be on the team next year because they didn't have anything to play for going into the playoffs. Now, in hindsight, they should have probably played their starters so they didn't look so bad going in the playoffs. Maybe it would have helped against Philadelphia. But you can say all this kind of stuff today, and Bears fans are, just eating out of the palm of his hand. They love it. And they should. They should, because he understands how big of a deal it is. But if you want to, win the Super Bowl when you're not in the playoffs in January when you hire your coach and you're trying to figure out this thing for the 500th time in the last, 30 years, fine by me.
Congratulations.
Do it. Yeah, and enjoy it.
And they did.
Enjoy it.
And
enjoy
they
it.
did.
But I don't want to hear a goddamn thing when they start 0-5 next year.
What?
And Bears fans are saying, this ain't the fucking guy we hired.
No.
What the hell? I didn't want this guy.
No.
I'm just saying.
They said that's where we wanted you to be in the video. We heard it. Let's go to a Chicago Bears fan here. Zito, Ben Johnson, his rollout, his debut as a Chicago Bears coach, aside from the selfie video that they put on social, I think has been awesome. Do you agree up there?
Yeah, this is like the first time Chicago's all been on the same page, too. Like, that never happens. So, everyone legit, rooting for him the whole time. And obviously there was, Vrabel was obviously a part of that as well, and McCarthy. But Ben Johnson is a absolute mastermind, and I do believe that we will be beating the Packers 2 times this year.
Okay. Sounds like he's making himself believe. It sounds like he's trying to convince himself in the middle of that answer there. And he was looking right, and he was looking straight. You know, I was watching Zito's eyes, searching.
Yeah.
He was searching for something there.
Searching for confidence. Searching for confidence in what he wanted.
And that's what Ben Johnson's supposed to do.
That's how he should feel.
And I think that's why Chicago feels the way they do. It's like, yeah, we got the guy. Yeah. He's saying all the right things. I think aside from that selfie on the social media video, everything else, he's saying the right things, Con.
Yeah, saying the right things, but just the demeanor. I think you mentioned, like, when Mike Vrabel came in, we're not doing the wuss, clapping it up, you know, hey, let's make this guy feel good. Okay, because that guy's coming in feeling good. He knows what he's
Ben Johnson said everybody back to work.
If we were, if we were to go back and look at who exactly got clapped for when they walked in the building, just a couple names come to mind. Rand Carthon. His ass got shit canned. I think we could go through a few more. I don't know if they're still with him. And to be completely honest, I've never seen Ben Johnson without a hat on.
Yeah, me neither. That's the first time.
And now that I have, boy, oh boy, I'm glad the Patriots got Mike Vrabel.
What's your problem?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. He looked like a fool. He looked.
I thought he sounded great. He also had that coaching stance with the hand.
Yeah.
Okay, he did one of these. Good leadership talk. I think he appreciated the banter there. A couple different times he was waiting for the team meeting. I thought he addressed the crowd well. I think we got a chance to look inside one of his meetings there, AJ. I have faith that Ben Johnson will be able to figure it out because you said you hadn't seen him without a hat. I don't think I've heard him talk.
Yeah.
That's my first time really hearing him talk there. I think he does have some leadership qualities, AJ.
Yeah, he does. I mean, that's not an easy room to walk into and try to
You
command
guys
the
have
room.
sucked. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I give him credit. His kids didn't interrupt him and didn't pull on his arm and tell him that they'd take a leak or something. Like, that's something that's tough to do if you're speaking with your kids right next to you. So I give him credit, him and his wife. But, I mean, ultimately, you got to ask the guys that played for him. Like, I know the guys that I have talked to that have been on the Lions, like, honestly, they have a lot of respect for this dude and they think he could be a great head coach. So that's all I can go off of when I have no personal interaction with the dude. But yeah, can you lead a group of dudes into give them all one singular direction that they can all chase? Like, can you be that guy? We'll see.
So he pointed at some of his players, allegedly in his press conference, Caleb and the boys, and said, get comfortable being uncomfortable. I don't know the delivery. I don't know the tone. I don't know the phrase. But the tweet that I read said it was a good moment. It was a good moment between new coach and locker room. D-Butch, early thoughts on the Ben Johnson regime up there in Chicago?
I'm optimistic. You know, he chose this destination. There was obviously, you would assume he had his pick of the litter with the teams. He chose this destination. He chose Caleb Williams. Now, Ryan Poles is still there, and the things about the turnaround and what's going on in Minnesota and what's going on in Detroit. Front office, you know, Brad Holmes has done a great job building in the draft and in free agency with Dan Campbell in the front office. And Quessy, what he's done in Minnesota, bringing in like guys like Cashman, Van Ginkel, Grenard, like those guys come in and instantly produce and help their team. So those are the things they're going to have to O-line, running back, because you had amazing weapons in Detroit. And we all know coaches can look great when there's great players running their system. And now you have a young quarterback still trying to figure it out. You have good, talented players, but you got to get those players to play and produce at a high level. So how he works with the front office and then obviously how he commands the team. We know he's a good play caller. So who's going to be defensive coordinator? How does he build the rest of his staff out?
Who all did he bring with him down there? Do we know? Does he have an offensive line coach?
No, I don't think they've named anybody yet, but I know Hank Fraley, I think he wanted him, but Hank's interviewing with Seattle. He's the O-line coach in Detroit, but he's interviewing with Seattle, and probably, I bet at the end of the day, is just using that as leverage to stay in Detroit.
Thoughts on this particular situation with Ben Johnson and the Detroit Lions and now the Chicago Bears?
I can understand being disappointed that your great offensive coordinator is gone and the fun football that you've been watching. Now you have to hope it keeps happening. But I don't understand the anger. I don't understand like this, why is he taking this job? Like, you get a chance to be a head coach in the National Football League. This is a chance that you dream about from the day you start coaching. And you should be happy for him because that means your team has been successful. You know, there's other teams out there who are complaining that their coaches have never had coordinators hired to be head coaches other places. You have both of your coordinators looking at other jobs and being the two top candidates in the entire coaching carousel. That means you're doing something right. That means you have a great organization. That means everything is going well where you are. And that also means that your head coach picked those two guys. So maybe you should trust him that he's going to pick two more great guys and fill in those roles. So I don't think there needs to be all this fury. Be happy for him. I have a feeling a lot of players in that locker room are happy for him because he made them look great and play great. And they also know how hard he worked and how big of a dream this is for him. So I don't understand the extreme anger about it.
Amen.
It's because it's in the division.
It's in the division, and he's been talking to Dennis Allen about joining his staff. So the Lions fans are like, whoa, I thought we were paying attention to winning games or whatever.
Kingsbury said hey, I'm not going to even entertain any of those till after, and then they win, and he's the OC of the other team.
Yeah, and I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to keep making points to debunk the Detroit's anger. But Cliff Kingsbury has already been a head coach. He's already got a head coaching guarantee contract. He's still getting paid off. Ben Johnson's never been a head coach before. So Ben Johnson, not just in the last 4 days before the Commanders-Lions games, has reached out to people to say, hey, would you join me? This has been happening probably for years.
Exactly, and he's earned this.
Didn't they put up 500 yards of offense, too, in this last game?
Yeah, but he was saving plays for Caleb, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's kind of the word on the street.
Yeah, that JMO pick he dialed up.
See how much
remember?
nonsense this is? This is why I don't understand why Lions fans are upset. It makes no sense. They're acting like this has never happened in the NFL before. It happens all the time.
I think it makes a ton of sense.
How often?
Rarely in division.
Yeah, how often
Rarely
do guys
in division.
go? That's why.
If you want to be mad at the Bears head coach and you want to say, I don't like the Bears head coach because I'm a Detroit Lions fan, that's fine.
Yes.
But to be mad at him, the coordinator, for leaving your team, that I don't understand.
Okay, well, fans can do fan stuff. And
Right.
I'll tell you what, the Lions' expectations are really high now. Are you going to be able to do it without OC and DC that have led you to this prominence? Now, I think MCDC is able to find guys. I think MCDC's culture is settled in there. But this is what your world is now. This is what a winning franchise is like.
Well,
you lose your coordinators.
100%. And honestly, that's why I'm not that worried about the Bears or the division. AJ says it all the time. Who cares about winning the NFC North when you want to win a Super Bowl? And so now I'm looking at Nick Sirianni. He went and found 2 new coordinators. It took a year, and now he's back in the championship weekend. So hopefully MCDC can do the same thing.
Yeah, and it's an NFC East championship weekend. I thought the NFC North was the one.
Yeah, they shit the bed.
geez.
It's not.
Big time.
Oh,
Regular season
gee.
merch.